What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Countdown Scouting Network. I'm your host, Joey Garcia, and today we have a special episode. Doing a Dynasty mock draft for you, and I thought let's bring in one of my friends to help with this so it's not just me talking the whole time. Um, and I thought, who else to bring in other than my friend Noah? He holds 8 out of the 12 first round picks in my dynasty league. So Noah, go ahead and say hi.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Also, Joey, I love how you got Vim's Layer and Countdown Scouting Report as your only two favorites. That's all you need.
That's right. That's all you need. That's all you need. That's how you know it's a straight business over here.
Yeah.
All right. So we've talked about this already before we got on here. So the rules to this draft, we're going to alternate picks. I'm going to take the first pick. Noah's got second pick. We are going to be doing this as if it is a super flex, non tight end premium, uh, PPR, half PPR, whatever you want to say. But it's basically going to be a rookie draft for super flex leagues. So that's 2 quarterback leagues. And tight ends aren't necessarily more valuable than others, so you probably won't see more than 1 or 2 of them on here. That's going to be a hint for you guys at home. But I guess I'll go ahead and start here. I think 101. If this wasn't a super flex league, I think I'd go Marvin Harrison Jr., the wide receiver out of Ohio State. But since it is super flex, I love Caleb Williams from USC. I think he has a chance to go back to back with Heisman. He's definitely, I think, 90% chance that he's going to be the number one overall pick. And I don't think he's a quarterback that has to go to a specific offense or specific systems to succeed. So I'm not worried about anything like that. I'm going to go ahead and take quarterback Caleb Williams from USC. All right.
Yeah, that's an interesting thought you had about if this was like not super flex, taking Marvin over Caleb, because I could definitely see that just with like saturated QBs,
Oh yeah.
but I think Caleb's gonna be special. He's like me playing against like a middle schooler on Madden, or like me playing against Case in our franchise league when his
Yes.
Wi-Fi is really bad. So
Yes. Yeah. Now he is honestly, he's the best quarterback I have scouted in my 3 years of doing this. Um, I didn't really get into Trevor Lawrence at that point. A lot of people say he's the best guy since Trevor Lawrence, since Andrew Luck. I don't know. I didn't scout Andrew Luck back then. I've been doing this is about my third season, trying to go deep into the player analysis. But I love the kid. He can make all the throws. He's as Patrick Mahomes as it gets at the college level. So you can go ahead and
interesting. He's like, yeah, dude, he's just different. It's processing when he's standing there. It's
yes,
like crazy how in control he looks the whole time, how calm.
yes, yes. All right.
Yeah,
Who
so I guess
who you got?
you led me into my next pick with who you were talking about.
Yes. I figured.
For a
I figured.
while there, when I was discerning my number two, probably like months ago, this was a much tougher decision, but a guy we'll talk about later is kind of let me down this season. So this is an easy Marvin Harrison Jr. for me.
Mm-hmm.
Just generational talent, wide receiver. Definitely had some lackluster numbers at the start of the season, but I kind of blame that on his QB
I was about to
play.
say,
Just
it
Kyle
seemed like he
McCord.
forgot that he's got a great guy over there.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's ridiculous. But him, that whole Ohio State offense is ridiculous. As a
Yes.
Notre Dame fan, I can attest to that.
Oh,
Pains
heartbreaker.
me. But when he went down in that game, it was the most bittersweet feeling of my life because I was like, he cannot like. I want you to be out for this game, but please only. I need like a Madden injury where it's only for this game, and then
Right.
he's good
Right.
directly after. But
Yeah. No, he's what's crazy is he's bigger than his dad was. He's stronger than his dad
yeah,
was, but he's got the route running, the the body control, the hands, the concentration. He's got everything that you really want. I love Megatron, Calvin Johnson. Um,
hmm
but like I wasn't looking deep into traits when I was watching Calvin Johnson. I was just like, oh, that kid, that dude's a beast. But now
Yeah.
watching this, it's
That
like,
6'4", 220-pound guy, kid.
yeah, that kid. But I don't know, man. I've never seen a receiver like him, to be honest with you. And I don't want to
Yeah,
just say that
exactly.
with every single person that we talk about on here is that they're the greatest thing since sliced bread. But I mean, it's ridiculous what he's doing. And like you said at the beginning of the season, I even said it when I was reviewing some of the games. It's what are you doing? Why is Marvin Harrison Jr. getting 2 targets a game? That should not be happening. You should be force feeding him the ball whenever your offense feels down. So
Yeah, yeah. It pains me that Arizona is doing like decently good this season because I as much like I didn't want them to get Caleb Williams 101 because like I have Kyler
you
Murray
got
in our
Kyler.
league, so
Yeah,
that was
you got Kyler.
he would get moved somewhere, I'm sure, because he's been a top 10 quarterback every year he's been healthy. Like
Right.
I'm tired of the Kyler Murray slander from people. Oh, he's small. Oh, he doesn't have good work ethic. Like he is a crazy talent,
Yes.
but I was praying he got Marvin Harrison Jr. to throw to. I was like, that would be insane. That would.
Yeah. Yeah. Now the problem is they messed up. They got Josh Dobbs. They've won what are they 3-3 right now? Something like that. So um,
Yeah, something like that.
they messed up, man. If they really wanted to tank, I don't think they're tanking. I think they're gonna go in there. Kyler's gonna be ready
Whose
by the
pick
end of
do
the
they
season.
have?
They have theirs and Houston's, which Houston's doing well as well. So um,
Yeah, it's Tank Dell looking, CJ Stroud looking
yeah,
good too. But
CJ Stroud's looking really good. But yeah. All right. Let's go into the third pick. So I thought about a couple guys here, um, just because you know I don't know who QB2 is for me at this moment, to be honest with you. Um, but the last 2 weeks, he has kind of stepped up, and it's Drake May. I'm gonna go ahead and just take Drake May here. Um, I was concerned at the beginning of the season. He almost lost in that Appalachian State game. That the reason why they made it to overtime was because of him and his 2 interceptions. And there were a couple other games in there that he just really wasn't finding his rhythm. It felt like, and that might have been because he had a new offensive coordinator with him, or maybe because all his weapons left him. But he still got all the traits, got all the tools. Again, he's 6'4", 220 pounds, and he's 21 years old. So I'm gonna take Drake May and just hope he goes to a good situation.
dude, I really like Drake May. I've tempered my expectations with him because, like
Yeah.
you were saying, his performance so far this season. I know you have an apple pie bet with Chase about him, and I think he's gonna win that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I really love his physical traits, love his ball skills.
Yep.
I just think between the years he's got to clean some stuff up. But I do think that he's going to be successful next level. I think he's going to be I can see him like just so many shades of like Justin Herbert and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just
Oh yeah.
like physical guy.
And
Just
he
like
can he can
even the
move
same
too.
vibe.
He
Like,
can move. Yeah.
oh yeah, he's got
Yeah.
absolute wheels. Like
Yeah.
yeah, didn't he have like some ridiculous number of rushing yards last year? I forget what it was. It was like it was easily above 5. I'm pretty sure it was like 600
Yeah. I
or
think he was. I
above.
think he was second on his team in rushing, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
that's ridiculous.
And I
And
mean,
like you were saying, yeah, Josh Downs gone and like
yeah.
new offensive coordinator is tough. Like
Right. I agree. And the big thing I want to see with him as he goes forward and gets more familiar with his offensive coordinator is to get the ball out quicker. It kind of feels like
mm,
he's waiting and waiting, and maybe that's he doesn't have chemistry with his weapons yet, but it's almost like he's sitting in the pocket too long. Maybe get him to move out a little bit, but I just think he needs to get that ball out a little bit quicker.
yeah, I do think the receiver talent. They just got that transfer guy. I forget his name, like
Yes,
number 8,
Tez
I believe.
Walker. Tez Walker finally
As Walker.
eligible. Yep. Yep.
Dude, that was a whole ridiculous
That's
situation,
that's
but
a whole nother story about why I hate the NCAA, but yeah, 100%.
I think that I think his numbers are really gonna jump up
I
though
think
with
so
him.
too.
Like I'm excited to see what he does, and I think that's really gonna help his draft stock.
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
with that addition.
Oh yeah.
So this next pick, pick four, this pick was really hard for me for a long time
Mm-hmm.
until I sat down today. I sat down and then like I've been looking at my rankings, just like going through them throughout the day. And like just magically this opened up to me that I'm so happy with this pick. He's almost, if Drake May doesn't like ascend a little bit, he might be better than Drake May,
Ooh.
honestly.
Ooh.
Brock Bowers. Like I can
Oh.
see, dude. I have a question for you, Joey.
Yep.
Where was Travis Kelsey going in Dynasty startup drafts this year?
No, that's a good point. I
He,
mean, yeah. Again,
he was
he's
like top
Travis
12.
Kelsey is 30 years old, and he was a first round pick in Dynasty. I think Drake May. Now the Drake May. Brock Bowers. The one thing
Oh,
I will say to
Superflex
you.
does complicate this a little bit,
Yeah, but
but
still, the one thing I will say to you is he's not just a tight end. He's a guy that can go out there and be a big slot. He's an H back. They've used him on jet motions. So there's multiple ways to get him the ball. But I do
I mean,
think
look at
he's
Sam
only six
Laporta's
foot two.
value.
He's 6'2", 230 pounds. So that's a little scary. But
That's,
Chiga
yeah.
Conquo from Maryland that went to Tennessee is a tight end. Chiga Conquo is 6'3", 230 pounds.
Oh,
So
I
he's
know
basically
Shiggy.
the same thing. And this guy's a better athlete than Chig. And I love Chig. I'm a big Chig guy. So
I like Shiggy.
I'm
Yeah.
okay with that, man. I'm actually okay with that. See, if you weren't gonna, I had him pegged right here at 7. If he made it to 7, that's as far as he was gonna drop for
I've
me.
I've got a tier that ends around there too, but I think Brock is just special.
He
Everything that
is.
I've seen about him, his tape is ridiculous, and I just think having that tight end, especially depending on what team he goes to and how he's going to get used, but if he gets surrounded with good receivers, he's going to be
Yes.
ridiculous. Like you just can't cover all
Right.
those. Like it's
Right. I mean, dude, yeah. I don't have anything else to say to that. He's actually a really special offensive talent. And if you stop thinking about it as him being a tight end and you think about him being an offensive weapon, it changes the whole dynamic, you know? So I love
yeah.
that pick. I think it was 3 picks too early. But no, I love that pick. I really do. So the thing is, I really want to get a running back up here because it's so weird having Dynasty without having a running back in the top 5. But I just can't do it. I love a couple of the running backs, but I just don't love them enough where I can pass up on some of these elite wide receivers. And there's even more quarterbacks that I'd be talking about here. But I was between two guys right here, two wide receivers, and I'm gonna go ahead and go with the one that's been flashier this year. There's a more consistent one that I know can be a playmaker when you need it. And then there's a flashier guy. I'm going to go with the flashier guy, wide receiver Malik
I knew
Neighbors
exactly what
from
you're.
LSU. Yes. Who do you think I was between?
Oh no, I knew it was exactly those two players, and I knew which one corresponded to which statement
Yes.
too.
Yes, a
Yeah.
100%. I mean, this dude, I don't know where he was last year. Um, I heard people talking about him, but I didn't
Well,
really
he
notice
kind
him
of
last year.
ascended when what's his name? The guy who went to the Patriots,
Butte.
freaking
Yeah, Kayshawn Butte.
Butte was like sucking. He ascended a little bit,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, but he wasn't like dominant. Like I was expecting to see a little bit of flashes
yeah,
like this. I mean, yeah, there was some last year, but dude, he is on a whole nother level. His route running, he's got good speed.
yeah.
His contested catch ability is ridiculous. Um, and so if he keeps doing this and becomes Jaden Daniels' favorite target, and they have another guy over there as well. There's another wide receiver there that's doing good things. I didn't write his name down, and he's escaping me right now, but that's all right. I don't think he's going to be a first rounder for us, but um, yeah, I mean, this dude's legitimately shot up my rankings. Where I had him as like one of my honorable mentions in my top 5 for the preseason scouting for wide receivers, and he's shot up where I mean he's competing to be number 2, number 3 for me, and it's like there's good wide receivers in this class. There's a lot of really good wide receivers in this class, and he's jumping up to compete with everyone not named Marvin Harrison Jr. It's just crazy.
Yeah, I think my rankings, I actually had to add an adjustment for like the actual draft of what I think I'll go for
Yeah.
based off just the scarcity of like elite running backs because with like the number of picks I have, I think that there's so much depth at wide receiver and like such honest like the talent drop off is certainly there for like the tier 2 and tier 3 receivers,
Right.
but I think that honestly though like they could all end up being like just as good. I mean, it's just about situation and everything there. But that being said, I'm going to go with your quote unquote more consistent wide receiver right here, Emeka Egbuka.
That's right.
Oh, another thing about Malik Neighbors though, I love his quarterback is really stepping up too. Hey, friggin' Brian Kelly, but I root for them to lose every single week. But I root for Malik Neighbors to have 150 yards
Yeah.
and receptions.
And it
So
seems like he's doing it every week too. So,
yeah, it
yeah.
does. But Emeka Egbuka,
Mhm.
RIP because he screwed my Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Freaking 20 seconds left and decided to catch a ball on the 1 yard line so they could just pound it in.
Oh, yeah, that
Pain,
was
pain.
mm,
Yeah, I knew him and Marvin were gonna just like dice our DBs who are trash, but
right.
yeah, here we are. I'm actually proud Notre Dame's Benjamin Morrison. He kind of had an off week last week when we lost. Yeah, I don't want to talk about it, but he did a really good job covering Marvin
He
and
did.
just 1v1 him all night. I was
I mean,
very
the
proud of that.
the first half, Marvin Harrison was only targeted like 1 or 2 times until that final drive of the first half because he was just
It was
all
crazy,
over
and
him.
that's on Kyle McCord. He's just
Yeah.
gotta throw it
Yo,
up to his
throw it
elite
up.
guy. That's
Yes. Yeah.
But Amika Egbuka, absolute like okay, I think that there's a double-edged sword here. One perspective is he is in Marvin Harrison's shadow, and he's an even better receiver than we think. And he's elite and could be a wide receiver one on a team. Second is Marvin just takes like every DB1 who's out there, so he's just picking up the slop there, but I'm not
Right.
exactly sure. Which I think it's somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
It could. I'm leaning towards him being better than we think,
I
just
think
because
so
I see his
too.
route running,
Yes.
I see his traits, I see him after the catch, and his physicality. When I first saw him, I thought like he was a smaller dude, just like from what I understood about him, like mostly in the slot and like
Right.
being like he's obviously Marvin Harrison Jr. is just an alpha, but he's a pretty big dude. He's like I forget what he is, but he's
Yeah.
like a physical guy. So
Yeah,
I
he's
think he's gonna
a
be really good on a team.
he's over 200 pounds, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm
But
pretty sure he's around like somewhere.
yes, I think he's like 6'1", 205, 210, something like he's bigger. I'm with
Mhm.
you. I really
Yeah,
thought he was a smaller guy until I really dug into it this
I remember
summer.
him
But
on our
ooh,
Madden franchise league
man,
back in like what was that 2019, 2020, and here he is, class of 2024.
yes,
Like we were deep in that,
yes,
and he
7
was still
years
getting
deep,
high
man.
already because he was a 5 star.
Yeah, no, that
That's a
that
testament to his him as a high schooler. Like dang,
the thing is with him, I think his biggest trait and why I think he can be a wide receiver one on his own is just the clutch plays. I mean, you see when Marvin Harrison Jr. is
oh yeah.
out and it's 3rd down and 7, and who's there to catch the ball right at the sticks with 2 guys draped
No,
over
I
him.
followed his clutch play.
I
Trust
I
me, I
love it.
know
I yeah,
2020.
you as a Notre Dame fan definitely know the clutch plays, but yeah, I think I really like this kid, and I think if he wasn't on the same team with Marvin Harrison Jr., we'd be um, talking about him as much as we're talking about Marvin Harrison. It kind of feels like he's under that shadow, so it'll be nice seeing him in the pros on his own team because
Him
that
and
kid's good.
Neighbors are like neck and neck for me.
Yeah,
Literally just in the like they are honestly I'm excited because at that point in the draft there's a little uncertainty about which pick I'll have.
yeah,
And I would genuinely be just as happy with either
with
one, so
either.
trust the
Yeah.
process on that.
Yeah, and I think talking about every single guy we've drafted here, I think goes in the top 15 of the actual NFL draft. I think Caleb solidified at
Yeah.
1. Marvin Harrison Jr. If someone wants another quarterback, if someone wants a tackle. I think that's the only way he makes it to number 4, but I don't see him making it out of the top 5. Brock Bowers,
I think he's top 2 just
his testing might be something that drops him,
oh,
but I don't think he makes it out of the top 10. I really don't, even as a
yeah.
tight end. Um, and then those 2 wide receivers are top 15 receivers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm big on everyone here, and I'm gonna spice things up just a little bit more with pick number 7.
Wow.
I am going to grab another quarterback. It seems like that's all I've been doing. Um,
So who will it be?
this guy probably isn't coming out. I've heard a bunch of rumblings. He's not going to come out of the draft.
Oh.
But just for this, for the sake of this, I have him as my QB. You know what? No, I'm gonna change things up because I think he could be QB2 in this draft class, but he could also be QB4. This dude's been a lot more consistent. I'm gonna go with the old Auburn legend, now at Oregon, Bo Nix. We're gonna stick with quarterback, but we'll go with Bo Nix from Oregon. He's now a lot of people might be frustrated with that pick because they think of Bo Nix from Auburn when he was at Auburn. He's not the same quarterback that he was at Auburn. He's a completely different quarterback in Oregon. Yeah, he still has every once in a while those F it balls where he just decides my wide receiver is going to go up and get it. Um, but for the most part, he's reading the field a lot better. He's getting out of the pocket, but not just scrambling and throwing his head into people. He seems like he's playing a much more controlled game of football. He's more controlled chaos than he was at Auburn, where it was just anything goes. Um, so I'm big on him. Yeah, he's going to be 25 years old. I don't really care. I think he's ready to play, ready to start day one. Um, and I also think he's a guy that could be just as good, if not better, than Drake May. So that's why I got him there. But he is 25. That's going to be the downfall for him.
I like Bo Nix. I think this quarterback 2 to quarterback 3, like the QB3 tier for me specifically is like such a mashup. It's really I'm just gonna trust the NFL on that one
Yeah,
because at
I
the end of
got
the day,
four
that's kinda what you
guys.
have to do.
Yeah, I got 4 guys in
Yeah.
there that I'm just like, they could be QB3 for me.
The guy you were gonna say, Shooter Sanders,
Yeah.
should however you say it,
Shooter, shooter.
I Shooter McGavin. I think he is really good. I think he would be QB3 for me
Yeah.
personally, but
Yeah.
I don't think he's gonna. I mean, this is just talk going around, obviously, but I don't think he's gonna come out
I also
personally.
don't
I
think
don't.
he's coming out. That's kind of why I switched to Bo Nix because I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna keep him out. If you take him, great. I'm not gonna take him. I'm gonna keep him off of there. But
Yeah, he's kind of buried in my rankings just because I'm
because
very
you don't
doubtful
know.
he's gonna come out.
Yeah.
In the land in NIL, in the land before NIL, I think he would be out, but with his dad and everything, it just adds more reason for him to stay.
Right.
So I think there's a lot of good QBs. My problem with Bo Nix is good game manager, play much more consistently, pretty mobile, good thrower obviously, but I just don't see that many special traits in him. Like I don't see something that separates him in the NFL and like makes him successful. He doesn't do anything bad. I mean, he has a couple balls. He played, I mean, ridiculous against Colorado.
Yeah.
Shout out to my boy Troy Franklin. We'll probably talk about later, but
Oh, we'll
we're
talk
just
about him.
connecting.
We will talk about him.
Yeah, but yeah, he's definitely a good game manager. I just don't see anything special, you know. Like I see like a Mac Jones type thing where he's like just playing games and like he's not winning for his team.
Yeah, I was gonna
My issue.
say, kind of like somewhere between Russell Wilson on the Seahawks and Baker Mayfield. I feel like he's somewhere in that range where it's like, again,
Yeah,
Russell Wilson on the Seahawks made some plays for you, but you didn't ask him to do game winning drives or anything like that because you had a good defense behind you. Same with Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield would make some plays. He'd also make some boneheaded plays as well. But he can move around a little bit, but he's not the most athletic. That's kind of what I feel with him. I'm with you on that. There's no elite traits in there. Um, So I'm 100% with you on that.
Yeah. I am very happy with this next pick who fell to me
Mhm.
because I was torn about him at 106. Mostly because of positional scarcity, like I was saying earlier, but I'm
Mm.
gonna go for Travion Henderson, running back,
Ooh.
Ohio State.
Mm.
He's my RB1 in the class. I'm not afraid to say it. I'm
That's
standing by it until so that changes inevitably.
yeah.
But I like his speed. I like his running style. I mean, sure he's kind of been slower since his freshman year, but I
He's
just
been
think we're
injured
gonna go
too.
back. Yeah, the injury, I think he's looking a lot better this year,
Right.
playing consistently, and he's just looking really good.
Yeah,
Well, I need a running back, so
I have him drop to he's actually so preseason he was my RB1. Right now, just how it looks, he's looking about RB4 for me. Um, and he could always shoot back up to RB1. I'm afraid of one his vision. I don't know what it is, but this year his vision does not seem as as good as it was his freshman year. And then two, his injuries scare me. His sophomore season, he was injured that whole time. This season, he's dealing with being banged up, and it just kind of scares me. That's the main reason why I moved him down my board. But if you get prime Trey Henderson, there's no one better in this class, I think, other than maybe my boy Trey Benson from FSU, but that's a whole nother story.
that
So
guy.
I'm with you on that. Um, I think Travion is awesome. So um, let's go with my guy as I try to multitask and type this in. But
Believe in you. Dude,
um,
that Ohio State auto fill hurts me.
I
It's
know. Look at
gross.
that. That's stupid. That's just ridiculous. Um, so I'm trying to think now. If I go just by pure rankings, I've got Keon Coleman, wide receiver from FSU. If I go by,
Don't spoil the surprise for me,
I
man.
know,
Yeah.
I know, I know. I need help with this one though. It's
I'm not gonna help you. I'm drafting against you here.
okay.
Let me somebody I want.
You know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna go with Keon Coleman. Let's do it.
I can respect that.
The problem I have with Keon Coleman, and I'll say it on here, is he feels like Devontae Parker. There's not much separation. He's an amazing contested catch guy. I mean, amazing contested catch. Really good hands, big body, physical, great at contested catch, body to you know, contortion and everything like that. His speed, I don't really know how fast he's gonna be, and just separation. That's the one thing that this could be a home run pick. How did he fall to nine type thing, or it could be, oh my God, do you remember when you took Keon Coleman in the middle of the first round? It could be one of those. He could end up having a Devontae Parker type season, or he could have a an AJ Brown type season, like AJ Brown type career. So it's like AJ Brown's the top, right? That's where it could be. Devontae Parker is kind of in that middle where yeah, he has some good years, some good weeks, that kind of stuff. Or he could end up being like
JJ has to get what?
N'Keal Harry. You know, N'Keal Harry
Yeah.
from Arizona State getting selected 31st or 32nd, whatever it was, to New England, and not being able to play because he can't separate. It's so his God, what's the thing called? His variant.
Polarizing.
His yeah, I don't know. Anyways, yeah, he I mean he can be anywhere on the stratosphere with that. So I'm gonna put him there just because I like his upside, but I don't know.
Referencing a song, I love it and I hate it at the same time because
Yes.
he is ridiculous at the catch point, ridiculous hands, but I don't know how well that's going to translate to the NFL
Right.
with much better corners going against him all the time, and
Mhm.
he's not just going to be able to moss people.
Yeah.
Like I see him as like my biggest question is the speed and how he can separate because like Drake London even scares me a little like that,
Mhm.
like just separating and doing stuff like that. But I think he's a good enough athlete to separate. But I just have that question about Keon.
That's
But
the thing with me too. We could be looking back at this in 3 years being like, "Well, of course he didn't succeed in the NFL. He's a 4 or
yeah,
5 guy." You know? So,
I think that's another thing where it comes down to draft capital too.
yes.
Where if he goes top 20, especially top 15,
Mhm.
which I've seen some mocks where he's going like that, then he's gonna have that investment where it's like, yeah, like I'll write him out, I'll trust it, especially pick like 1 of 9 first round. Like that's not too early to take
Yeah,
that shot
for sure.
on a top 15 pick. But I if he goes that early, I could see that where he's just got that security built in.
Right.
It's just kind of like going with my next pick. I tell you what, let me look at what I got so far in our little draft.
Mhm.
I'm I'm gonna ride out with a guy who I really like. Hmm. This one's kind of weird. I don't. I'm gonna go Michael Penix. Let's send it.
Michael Penix.
Quarterback
You know,
Washington.
that was my next guy. And he's
Yeah.
a guy who I was looking at his Heisman odds, and dude, he's got really good odds. I think he's tied for first in Heisman odds this year. And the problem that I'm gonna have with that, and it's not me, I'm not gonna have the problem with it, but I just don't think he's gonna win the Heisman because I think his team's gonna drop one over here shortly. Um, and
Oh,
that's a whole nother tangent. That's not even talking about Michael Penix Jr. That's just when did the Heisman turn into, the quarterback that's on a team that's in the playoffs?
best team. Yeah.
It's so stupid. But yeah, I'm big into Michael Penix. The one thing,
His offense. Yeah.
yes, dude. The only thing I'll say about him, and then I'll let you shower
Yeah.
him with your love, is I don't know how many teams are gonna have him off their draft board because of medicals. That's the one
Yeah.
thing with him is he tore both ACLs before. He's torn his AC joint, and I believe it's his non-throwing shoulder. And he's also, again, he's another one of those guys that's 25 years old. But when he's healthy, if you turn injuries off, if you go to Madden franchise, turn injuries off, this dude might be the best. He might be the best quarterback in this draft class. Even with Caleb Williams,
Yeah.
he might battle for number one quarterback in the draft class if you turn injuries off.
And scrambling off, but
Yeah.
but yeah, I think I was gonna say the same thing. I was gonna preface it with his injury concerns. I think that Bo Nix is like old Bo Nix is the concern for
Mhm.
me,
Mhm.
in that him kind of regressing. And then Penix is obviously the injury and just falling apart on the field concerns, especially with NFL defensive linemen bearing down on him.
Yeah.
But I do think the arm talent's really special. I think he's really clear between the ears,
Yes.
and I he's just like he can put the ball anywhere, do it really well. And as someone with a quarterback with this being super flex, I think Michael Penix gets top 20 draft capital probably. I think it's either him or Bo Nix is top 15. I think,
You're talking about
and
in the
I think
actual
that there's
NFL draft, or
in the actual NFL draft,
I
yeah.
agree. I think someone's going to take a shot in the top 20 for him. Definitely. And
And
if
I
someone
think that
does, you
there's
have to hammer a first round pick in Dynasty for him if someone does that. You
yeah,
have to.
especially 110.
Oh,
And
yeah.
the thing
Steal.
is, a lot of the mock drafts I've seen, there's some juicy landing spots, like Vikings and stuff like that. And I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
if
Dude,
you
if he
got
goes to the
Kirk Cousins out
Vikings,
there tearing it up,
mm,
I've
if he-
seen a lot of Vikings with Michael Penix just, and I see Michael Penix throwing to what's his
and he already looks good in purple. So.
oh
Him
yeah,
with
exactly.
Jay Jettis and Jordan Addison and TJ
That's what
Hawkinson.
I'm saying.
Oh my
That's
god.
ridiculous.
Oh
Like
my god.
that would be crazy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I think I think that if he that landing spot would that just
Yeah.
is so crazy to
Oh
me.
yeah.
And I
If
think he just fit perfect.
if that's the landing spot is the Minnesota Vikings, I don't think he makes it out of the top 5 in a dynasty draft. If it's a
Oh,
super
yeah.
flex,
No, I agree.
he might go honestly, he might go above like a Drake May or whoever's taken number 2 over like as the second quarterback
Yeah.
just because of landing spot alone. I wouldn't
If
question
if
anyone for
Drake
taking him
May
up
goes,
there.
like, Raiders
Yeah. Oh,
or
I would
goes,
take
like,
Michael Penix
Tampa,
at in the
yeah,
20th Michael Penix at 20 to Minnesota compared to Drake May to yeah, the Raiders. I'm 100% taking Michael Penix over him in a dynasty draft.
yeah.
10 times out of 10 I'll do it. Oh yeah. I love Michael Penix. That's my guy. Uh I talk about
Mhm.
him and another quarterback that I'll bring up probably here in the close to the middle of the second round. I'll probably bring up this quarterback too. Those are the two guys I talk about on this channel all the freaking time. I love those two quarterbacks. So shoot, I'll go ahead and just go with my next guy. I got to get a running back in here. And Trey Benson. The problem I have with Trey Benson is that he's a Florida State guy. If he wasn't a Seminole, I would love him so much more. He has good vision. He can run a zone system. Um, he can run power, gap scheme. He catches the ball well. His contact balance is nice. Um, but eh, I don't have any negatives to say about Trey Benson other than his injuries. He did have an injury, I believe, his freshman year, maybe his sophomore year, one of those two. But what do you think about Trey Benson?
Oh, you know I love him. I'm pretty sure on one of your previous videos, I think you were doing, like, running back scouting, and it was like,
Yes,
Trey Benson is, like, top 3 RB easy in this
yes.
class, and that was, like, freshly after every time I do cardio, I'm, like, on the stair stepper watching running back highlights,
And Trey
growing the
Benson.
quads, you gotta. And I watched Trey Benson's film and I was blown away. Like he's kind of this year's not I think as flashy as it's
No,
been.
I
That
agree.
being said,
His
Florida State
I will
every
say
time people play him,
his offensive line this year is really really bad. I am not impressed at
yeah,
all with this offensive line.
yeah, I think his cuts ridiculous. Like vision is beautiful. Um, he's a little less like physically gifted as far as speed as
I
some
agree.
than like Ravion or some of these other guys, but he's just a great running back, great athlete.
Yeah, his contact balance is great. I think his vision's great. But again, like what you're saying, does he really have the burst? Does he have the top end speed? I don't know if he has any of that. I think he has enough though, So
Yeah.
that's why I got him. I
I
really
mean,
do. I
dude,
think he's got enough.
we're seeing freaking Kyron Williams succeed on the
Right.
Rams, so
Right.
anyone can do anything. Like
That
I
a
love
hundred
Kyron as a
percent.
Notre Dame guy, but
Yeah, 100%.
not the best athlete, but I mean, great pass blocker. So that's a separate conversation. But
Yes. All right. I'm going
dude,
to step off just for
wait,
a
this is
second.
my pick, right?
Yes, that's
Oh
what I was
yeah.
gonna say. I'll let you talk about your pick really quickly. I'm just gonna let my cats in, and I won't stop the recording. I'll just let
Cool.
you keep going. So I'll be right back.
I Yeah, you let those cats in. I'll talk plenty. So my next guy, um, I'm I'm kind of torn on this pick too, but I'm gonna send Rome Odunze.
Oh
I'm gonna
yes,
get my reverse stack of Michael Penix from college days. Rome Odunze, just ridiculous athlete. I actually have him above Keon Coleman in my rankings because of my questions about Keon Coleman. He's directly above Keon Coleman, but I really like Odunze. Great athlete, great separator. Just playing in that offense, he's getting so many reps, getting so much. I just watched his film and he's like always just wide open. It seems
yes.
like from what I'm seeing, and I think he's gonna be great. I think he could work his way. I don't know if in college he works his way into the tier with Emeka Egbuka and Malik Neighbors, but I think in pros he could get there. Honestly, like I could see it, and if it was just landing spot.
No, I 100% agree. Again, he's got the speed. He's got the release package. This dude, out of everyone we've talked about, I would say his release package is is up there if not better than Emeka Egbuka. I think he's probably got the second best release package out of all the wide receivers, and of course Marvin Harrison Jr. Is number one with that. So that's part of the reason why he's wide open all the time is because of scheme, but a big part of it is because of his release package. Dude, he does not let DBs touch him sometimes in press coverage. It's ridiculous how well he beats press man all the time. So I I love Roma Dunze. I have one more receiver in front of him. But with that being said, I think we're talking about five, six, seven receivers right here. All that should be first round picks in the NFL draft and also in this dynasty draft. So, um, man, I'll go ahead. We can just go right into round number two here. Um, I'll go with my wide receiver because I can't let you get him. I really can't let you get him.
Oh
And
man.
and and I gotta do the stack too, man. You did a stack with Michael Penix and Roma Dunze. I'll do my Bo Nix and Troy Franklin stack. I know you like Troy Franklin too, and that's why I knew he wouldn't make it back to me. So let me
He
get
was
Troy
the
Franklin.
he's the next receiver on my board.
Yeah.
So
So I have him just in front of Roma Dunze. Um, but again, I haven't done a deep dive on it or anything like that. But Troy Franklin, man, he is. I don't. Again, I feel like we're gonna keep talking back and forth about how great all these wide receivers are, and people are gonna think that we're just talking up these receivers. These receivers are all really freaking good. Troy Franklin in last year's wide receiver class, which last year's wide receiver class, I'm trying to think of who the top three receivers that were taken were.
had some question marks. We had JSN,
That's right.
Addison,
Yeah, Zay
Flowers,
Flowers.
PJ,
Yes, Troy
Quentin Johnston.
Franklin would be probably number two, I would say, in that. And we
Yeah,
just
under
picked him.
JSN.
We just picked him one, two, three, four, five. We picked him six over here, and he'd be number two. At least in my head, I think he'd be number two in that class. So yeah, right underneath
I
JSN.
can see it.
So that's how good this class is. I think he'd be number two.
Last year's class was sneaky good at wide receiver. I think
It
Jordan
was
Addison's looking pretty good.
yeah.
I just have some questions about his build, and that's my question marks with Troy Frank. I love to like look at
He's
negatives of
so
these guys
thin,
and just
dude.
kind
He's
of tear them
so
apart.
thin. Yeah,
He's thin,
he's so thin.
but man, he plays. He just like bounces off guys. He's getting
Yes.
open. He plays so like just like he's not big, but like he plays like that's not holding him back whatsoever. But I can see maybe injuries or something being a concern in the NFL
Yeah.
or getting stuck at the line. But
No, I'm
he's
with
really
you.
fast. I watch him and I see what people want Xavier Worthy to be. Like honestly, and I like
Yeah.
Xavier Worthy,
I love Xavier
but I
Worthy.
think he is Xavier Worthy plus because
Yeah.
he's got hands and can catch the damn ball.
Bro, Xavier Worthy is so physical though. He's so mean. Um he acts like he's not 170 pounds out there. I will say that. But
Oh yeah, that's true.
you're right. Probably the most important part about playing wide receiver is catching the ball. That's just
Yeah,
me though.
yeah, I was gonna say he's not scared of the other players, but he's scared of the ball apparently. So
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
bit. This next pick, I'm gonna take a guy who is falling in the NFL, is falling in college and just kind of regressing overall due to injury, and that hurts me a lot because I really wanted him to be good. I don't need him to be good because there's a lot of other guys rising, but I'm gonna take Rocket Raheem Sanders.
Mm,
Really likes this guy. I still like who he is. He's just got to bounce back from these injuries plaguing him.
yeah.
Um, his offense as a whole is kind of taking a step back, but
He's a
I
Rockledge
still
guy.
like him.
You know that?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's a Rockledge guy.
That's just another reason to love him,
I
man.
know, I know.
But I really love the speed, love the physicality. I see him if he gets back to where he was playing, or at least mostly close to it. I think he's like a Charbonnet plus. That's just where I see him at.
Yeah,
I see him as like based off the way he's currently going. I just need the NFL to believe in him is what I mostly need.
yeah,
But I think if he gets his act together, he could be like a second round guy, like later second round right now. But
yeah. My one thing with him is yes, he's 240 pounds. He's 6 foot two, 6 foot. I think he's 6'2", 240. He's got great
yeah,
speed for that size. He's got good hands for that size. But he sometimes when he's out in the open space, he likes to dance. And I want you at 240 pounds to go straight into that safety's collarbones. You know what I mean? Like run through the guy.
yeah,
You can stiff arm him. You can do some stuff, but he kind of slows down his momentum and he kind of pitter patters in space and he doesn't break as when he's out in space. When he's running up the middle, he breaks so many tackles because he's going full speed. When he's out in space, I
yeah.
just feel like he doesn't use his size. He tries to he acts like he's a scat back out there, but I do like him, and I
My
think
thing is,
he can flip that switch and be a Derrick Henry.
yeah, my thing is that can be coached out. I feel like so
hundred
easily.
percent.
Like people see his speed and like
Yes.
they can just like they can coach that out of him, I think. Like I'm saying, I think it's just a matter of an NFL team taking a chance on him
Mhm.
second round, and I think that there's a lot of ways that he can end up being a really good back. I think he's
Yes.
a good balance too, man. Like I haven't seen
Yes.
him a lot in the receiving game at all, but as
He's
far as
got
like
he's got
speed and
hands.
size,
He's
it's
got hands.
sexy. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I
Dude,
think
oh,
I think so.
freaking speaking of hands, Trey Benson, like who you picked earlier, the
Yes.
hands are ridiculous on
Yes.
that guy. Like it was crazy. We had like a back shoulder like catch that he
Yeah.
had. It was crazy.
He makes some catches that some wide receivers might have hard times making. So
That's like watching
it's
Bijan like
awesome.
catch the
Yes.
pitch behind his back and proceed to run
Yes.
a touchdown with it behind his back. Like, what are
Yes.
you doing? What?
Without slowing down at all. He has the confidence that he's got it, even though it's kind of bobbling back there. It's awesome.
Oh yeah. Well, he's just playing on a different. He's like Caleb Williams. He's just playing on a different level. It's just
Yes.
ridiculous. Like different speed.
um. So I want to go quarterback here, but I'm not going to just because I don't really feel as confident with those guys as I do with some of these running backs that are quote unquote falling. I just there's a group of running backs right here that I feel confident about, and then after that it kind of drops off tremendously. So I'm gonna take one of these guys right here. And I'm between two. I think I'm gonna go with Blake Corum from Michigan, though. Um, Blake Corum ended up having a tremendous season last year. I thought he was gonna come out. He tore. What did he tear? I don't even know what he tore. He tore something. Michigan, excuse me. He tore something. Ended up missing the last couple games of the season. I'm guessing he got evaluations from NFL teams, and they said, "Hey, um, with you not being able to participate in drills, you're probably going to be a fifth round pick or something like that." Because he ended up coming back, which was crazy because I thought he was probably the number three, number four running back. So he comes back and super good as a smaller back. I'm talking about 5'8", 205 pounds. He's breaking so many freaking tackles. He's got good hands, good explosiveness. His top speed's not really there, I don't think. But he runs good routes. He is explosive and he breaks tackles. He's an elite zone runner. I wouldn't ask him to be a gap power type guy, but if you got a zone running system, I think this is a guy. Um, this is a guy that can fit your system, be an RB1, RB2 in a committee easily. I don't know if you've
Yeah,
gotten to
I
watch
think.
Blake Corum, but
Oh no, trust me, dude. I think looking back at this draft, Blake Corum could be the RB1
he could.
easily, and we could all be fools for letting him fall to 203
Yes.
because PFF had him rated as like the highest rated running back last year, right? Or not other than Bijan, I think, but or
Yeah.
maybe even including Bijan.
So
He's
he
yeah.
was. I'm trying to remember exactly what it was. He was. I think he was even including Bijan was the highest rated running back when it comes to yards after contact and yards per touch or something like that. Something stupid. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. Like his number, I'm mad at him because we didn't get to see a year of just like the Donovan Edwards show.
Yes, a hundred
But
percent.
I I do think that he I like him over Edwards just because I have not seen Edwards work successfully between the tackles much, and that
Correct.
scares me.
Correct. That's
And
that's been my
I
biggest thing.
don't like that.
And if
I
you
like Corum.
no, I'm with you 100% on that. Donovan Edwards, I actually had him ranked above Blake Corum in my summer scouting series. But you're right. I
Dang,
mean, the dude doesn't work in between the tackles. He's a receiving running back,
not
you know?
successfully.
No. Yeah,
No,
not
dude.
2.8 yards per carry type stuff. And then you see Blake
Yeah,
Corum
Notre
doing
Dame
it.
this past week.
Man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I like Corum a lot, and I have him kind of lower in my rankings.
Yeah.
I like him a lot, but I just have some question marks about him with him coming back and stuff like that. How the NFL is going to view him being an older running back
Being
now.
an
How
older
old is
running
he? Probably
back,
20.
5'8",
Probably
200
23.
pounds, and this will be his
Yeah,
second or third year getting over 200
lots
carries
of
on his
mileage.
body. A
Lots of
lot
mileage
of
on that
touches.
guy.
Yes. So that's going to be a
Like,
negative
yeah,
for him, 100%, especially
he
being a
just.
smaller body.
I think he's. I think he's gonna come in and be a great handcuff. Be like
Yes.
great handcuff, great backup relief.
Kind of like how
But I can't
Tyjae
see him.
Spears is with Tennessee right now. Someone that's
Yeah,
going to be a
and I
backup
tell
to
you
a
what.
kind of older running back, and hopefully
Yeah,
maybe he takes over a little bit.
I can see Spears taking over.
I think
Yeah,
so
I
too.
get what you mean.
Yeah.
This next guy, I'm gonna swing on upside. I'm gonna do the opposite of what you did,
Do
and
it.
I'm gonna send Braylon Allen, who I am
Ooh.
religiously low on. I'm
Really?
gonna say it here.
Really?
I do not like Braylon Allen.
Really?
I I'm taking him, but I do not like him.
Oh my god. See,
I
I thought about taking him instead of Blake Corum.
dude,
Why what do you not like
I
about
watch
him?
Braylon Allen. I love his size, obviously. I see glimmers of like beautiful speed for a huge human being,
Yeah.
but I see like a couple good cuts. I see him getting second level every once in a while, and I don't know if it's just like their offense and I'm just not used to it or whatever it is, but I just like I feel like he's stumbling around a lot. Like I am not sold on his footwork.
He runs
I'm not
upright.
sold.
You're right.
I'm his pad level is horrendous.
Yes.
It is literally disgusting.
Yes.
Like
I'll give you
I
that.
think that's the number one. That is the number one thing. Is he could be literally like a 1.5 times better running back if he just learned how to lower his pads,
Yes.
but he just doesn't.
You know
Great
what?
athlete,
I'll give you that.
and he's a huge. Yeah, it is literally so off-putting for me to watch. Like I can't tell you, but I can't take him over anyone else on my board right now. Would have loved Trey Benson,
Yeah.
but you took him pretty early. I like Trey Benson a lot too. Actually, I have Trey Benson between Raheem Sanders and actually I have Raheem Sanders, Braylon Allen, then Trey Benson, but I might have just talked myself to Trey Benson over Braylon Allen because dude, I mean, I can see him being a ridiculous athlete and just balling out in the NFL.
Yeah.
Can also see him being absolutely nothing.
So
Like it could be.
I was gonna say you
I
see
mean, he's
Braylon
super young,
Allen the
which I
way I
love.
see Rocket
He's
Sanders. I
yeah.
I feel like that's
I
how it is.
love that Brandon Allen is super young. I
Yeah.
love that,
Yeah.
but I
Cause
just
dude,
like
he reclassified and came a year early to Wisconsin.
yeah,
He was a
yeah.
17-year-old playing as a freshman.
Don't get me wrong. There's so much he could clean up with his game
Yeah.
because he's so young and there's so much left to coach in him.
Yeah.
But I just I just want him to figure it. I don't know, man. I just like watch him stumble around, and it's like watching like Hodor, like just like slop loves chum. Like I'm not sold on the guy.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I'm with you. I see what you're saying. I'm a big Braylon Allen guy. I got him as my he's my RB3 right now. Right behind Blake Corum. I got Trey Benson Blake Corum, Braylon Allen, and then Travion Henderson. But again, it's a whole hodgepodge. You can convince me of anyone to be RB1 in this class. So
Draft capital is going to be the
yes, it's gonna be
decider on a
huge.
lot of these.
Yes, it's gonna be huge on that. And the Rocket Sanders, I didn't talk about him, but of course he's there at number 5, and that's my breaking point right there is Rocket Sanders. After that, I don't feel comfortable touching any of these guys unless someone takes him in the first 3 rounds. I don't feel comfortable taking the rest of these running backs until the 3rd round in a dynasty draft, honestly. So,
Yeah, I can see that. I
uh,
um I think it's interesting we had like a little running back run right
yeah,
there
yeah,
after we had a huge tier of receivers. There's kind of like two
yeah,
and a half receiver tiers, and Marvin Harrison being in his own tier of guests at 3.
of course.
But then running backs, if they get the draft capital, could work their way up, I think, ahead of guys like Troy Franklin and Rome Odunze.
Yep, I think so
But
too.
I think a lot of it's going to come down to that draft
You need
capital.
it. Yeah, you need a team to really believe in them.
Yeah.
All right, I can't wait any longer to take this guy because if you take him, I'm just gonna cry. So there's some. I'm done with running backs. I think for this draft since I think I've only got 4 picks left, something like that, 4 or 5 picks left. Um, but there's a bunch of good receivers here. I'm gonna skip out on receivers because I gotta get this quarterback. People are probably
I know
asking.
who it is.
People, I don't know if you do. But we'll see. This is who I'm going to take. I am taking quarterback Cam Ward from Washington.
That's
Washington
a
State,
sneaky
excuse
tip
me.
right there.
Yeah, Washington State. I love this kid.
Yeah,
Dude.
sorry, I already got the one from Washington.
Yeah,
I'll take
right.
mine.
And you got the better one. I won't lie, but Cam Ward's ceiling is. I mean, this kid could be the best quarterback in the league. He came from Incarnate Ward, where he played, which if you guys don't know is a Division NAIA Division Two D1 AA. I don't know what they are. They're a lower level school. I believe they're D1 AA. And put up, I mean, ridiculous numbers running, throwing. Then he transfers to Washington State, and this is his 2nd year in the system. And this year he has gone balls to the wall. I think the only reason why they've lost the game is because of the defense just is pathetic. But he's putting up incredible stats. He's super mobile, um, but he doesn't rely on his legs to get a bunch of rushing yards. If you look at his stats, um, he relies on his legs to get him outside the pocket where he can throw it. He reminds me of Kyler Murray. Is kind of what he looks like. And I was a big Kyler Murray fan coming out, and what he's done in the league has been fine, other than a little bit of injuries here and there. But
Beautiful.
Cam Ward is just like that, where he's got the arm strength. He's 6 foot, 6'1", 210 pounds, something like that. Um, but he's got a rocket arm, can make all the throws, moves really well. Again, the only negative I have with him is this system is super QB friendly. It's super simplistic, where the quarterback has to make one read, figure it out where the safety's going. It's not a pro style offense, so um, he might come to the league and just struggle for a little bit because he might not have the processing power. I have no idea if he does or not, but all his traits, everything's there for him to be an elite quarterback in the league. So this is a high variance player, I think. I don't know
Yeah,
if you've watched Cameron
I
Ward
haven't
like I
watched
have.
his tape actually, but I've heard really good things about him.
Yeah,
And
when we get off this, you're gonna have to go watch some of his plays because he is phenomenal. I
sounds
love this
good.
kid.
Yeah, I have him ranked kind of in like the I'm unsure of this guy range, but
Yeah.
it's like those are good players and like my top like 30 overall, and it's just he's kind of gonna come down again to like an NFL team believing in him
Yes.
because QBs after round 1 kind of scare me
Yes.
because it's just like such a low hit rate
Right.
personally, like
Right.
especially using a pick where there's still guys that I like,
Yeah.
maybe not necessarily love, but guys that I like.
Yeah.
And
If
that
I
being
didn't
said,
Yeah, if I didn't walk away with him in this draft, I would be very disappointed in myself. So that's kind of why I took the swing
Yeah.
on him.
Hey, this is the time too when it's like your guy's
Right.
your guy.
Yeah.
Like I wish I had more mid second rounders just to take shots on guys who I like.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, a lot of my picks I kind of got to stick to the formula because they're pretty early, which is good. Is good, I guess. 'Cause,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna take. I'm I'm actually gonna take a quarterback here
Ooh,
who
I think I
has
know who it
who
is.
direct. He's dripping in processing power. You might be thinking Shador Sanders. I'm actually not gonna take him just because I don't think he's gonna come out at all.
Yeah, he's off
I'm
my
just gonna
board too.
kind of leave him. I'm gonna leave him out of this. My guy is JJ McCarthy.
Yep, I knew it.
Who is that who you're thinking? Yeah.
Yeah, that's who I was thinking.
He's I honestly can see him in the same range as Penix, Bo Nix. I can see him working up to QB2 if a NFL team likes the way, because I think he's going to interview insanely well.
I agree.
He's going to test pretty well. People are going to see that he just manages games.
Yep.
He's in my opinion, he could be better than Bo Nix right now,
He's
just
a
based off.
younger Bo Nix. I 100% agree with you on that. Is again,
Like
he's
honestly, I
going to
might
be
need to adjust
21
my
years
ranking.
old. Yes.
Yeah,
He's
because
what Bo Nix was kind of transitioning into last year, I feel like,
yeah.
but he's younger. No,
Dude,
I agree.
honestly, yeah, I might need to move JJ the jet plane a little higher. Like
Yeah.
he, dang, I might need to reconsider that a little. But thinking about it, because I was even trying to say like, oh, he's not as mobile, but he is. Like
Mhm.
he can run the ball, he
Mhm.
moves the ball well. He doesn't make mistakes. That's why Michigan. I hate Michigan,
Yes.
but they stay winning games because they're much more disciplined than my Fighting Irish team. They do
Yes.
not make mistakes, and that is why they win games. They're also just huge and great, but he manages that team so well. I think that he's like a quiet leader, and we don't really hear about it. My thing too is I I can kind of see him being like a who am I thinking of? Daniel Jones
Yeah.
type thing
Yeah.
where pretty mobile, manages the game well enough to start. And if you get a starting QB at 206, I think he's going to get drafted earlier than
Yeah.
in the NFL draft and therefore drafted earlier in this mock draft. Well, in a rookie draft if he gets that draft capital. But if JJ goes late round 1, early round 2, I'm taking a shot here. I
Yeah.
believe in the talent.
See, I already see people um, typing in the comment section below the video. Where's JJ McCarthy? How come you guys haven't got JJ in the first round? Blah blah blah. I can already tell they're gonna do that, and that's
Yeah.
fine. The NFL has been hyping up JJ McCarthy as a top five pick. I don't see him as a top five pick, just because it's so. I mean, he's got the traits. I think he's gonna test really well, like you said, with his brain and the way that he's going to be able to break down defenses. The only thing is, I don't know what he looks like when you put him behind a bad offensive line, like
Yeah.
Carolina behind a bad offensive line, or Daniel Jones this year behind a bad offensive line. I don't know what it's going to look like because he's been behind the Michigan offensive line, who back to back the last 2 years have been ranked the best offensive line in the nation. So that's my only thing with him. Now, first
That's
round
my
pick,
thing with
heck
like
yeah,
Penix. Yeah.
yeah,
With Penix and May in them, like
yeah,
they have such like crazy physical traits, crazy ball skills that I can justify like them being some like exception and them having something where a team is like, yeah, we're gonna take this guy.
right.
JJ, he's just like he's pretty vanilla to me. Like don't get me wrong, great athlete,
Yes.
can run the ball, can put it where he needs to,
Yep.
but just kind of vanilla,
Yeah,
and that's kind of in the Bo Nix range for me as well. But
I agree. Yeah, I think in reality you're right. JJ McCarthy will be a first rounder in this. I think he's going to be a first rounder in the NFL draft as well. So, I'm
yeah, I
I'm
can
with you
see
on
that.
that. I like JJ McCarthy. I had to get Cam Ward in there.
Mm.
Um I'm
Hey,
going to
pick your
start
guy.
I'm going to start picking a couple crazier picks. This one's a higher upside pick. I had a couple guys I was thinking about getting here. Let's go with this higher upside pick, and we'll go with Xavier Leggett from South Carolina, wide receiver.
Yeah, yeah.
Xavier Leg, I think that's how you spell his name.
Joe
South,
Cox.
yeah. So he is a big body receiver, um, with speed. He's had a late breakout age. Last year he did a little bit here and there, but he really didn't play much, or have excuse me, he didn't really have any big games. This year he has been basically, other than Juice Wells, who um, is also with South Carolina. He's basically been the only person doing anything on that South Carolina offense, and he's been doing it really well. I think he's 6'4", 220 pounds. Like, he's a big receiver, and he's fast too. Probably runs a 4.4. I wouldn't be surprised if he ran, a 4.42, a 4.4, even in the 4.3s. I really wouldn't be surprised. He's fast. I think his upside's DK Metcalf, but again, I don't like really saying too much about, comparing them to elite NFL receivers because DK is elite. But I will say that in this range, this is kind of where the back end of the second round, start taking some swings on guys that have high upside. And I think worst case, it's kind of like how Jonathan Mingo is this year with Carolina. If you remember him coming out of Ole Miss, he had a little bit of drop concerns. Xavier Leggett, I don't really know how to say his last name, but he doesn't have any drop concerns or
French.
anything like that. It's just he's just been physical, and it seems like something clicked with him this year. He's impressed me. I haven't deep dove into the tape or anything, but he just looks fantastic this year. So I'm going to take a swing in the second
And
round.
when you're playing physical in the SEC too, that's got to be like an extra plus on that.
Yes.
Like,
Oh, 100%. I mean, he's played against South. He's played against Clemson already, right? Did they play Clemson? They played UNC. I know that they've played uh, LSU. They played. I think they played Tennessee as
yeah,
well. But yeah, I mean,
that's
dude, if you're
schedule.
able to play physical with those SEC guys, it should translate. It should.
Yeah. I'm this next pick, I'm gonna copy you with a fellow Xavier, but I'm gonna go Xavier
There you
Worthy,
go.
Texas. I know I slandered him a lot,
Yeah.
and he's gonna have to forgive me for that. But you can't deny the speed. Very
Yes.
fast guy. Send
Yeah.
him to the freaking Miami Dolphins.
Oh
Miami, just
no.
take him.
Oh
Just
my
do it.
God.
Just why not? Just
Bro,
just add Tyreek Jr.
that Miami offense is, as a Miami Dolphin fan, I love it. But it is a Madden team. You cannot tell me
I
that when
wonder what
you play Madden, you're not sorting the free agency list by speed at wide receiver and just adding them to your roster. That's what Miami's doing.
Chase Claypool is an interesting addition there. I
Yes.
think I mean he's a locker room toxin and I love him as a Notre Dame guy. He was great at Notre Dame. I
Yep.
think that they were keeping his head straight there, but I think the NFL has just been a little much for him.
Yeah.
Um, I think that he needs good coaching, and I think being surrounded by receivers who are just obviously better than him, like Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle,
Yep.
like I think that's gonna
He's
help
not going to
him.
be asked to do too much. He's got Wes Welker as his coach, going to coach him. Mike McDaniel. Is it McDaniel's? I think it's just Mike McDaniel. Sorry,
McDaniel,
I'm overthinking it. He's a player's coach. Again, you got Tyreek
love
Hill,
that guy.
who's been there, done it before. Hopefully, he can get him in the right headspace too. I 100% agree. I think that it was a huge addition for them. And then if you add Xavier Worthy to it, it
Yeah.
just makes the offense completely stupid, and no defense will ever want to go up against it.
I think Xavier Worthy, I watched him against Alabama, and he had a drop against Bama, I think, in the end zone, and that hurt. But other than that, he's been pretty squared away this year.
Yeah,
Um, he, I think last game, Red River, he kind of struggled a little bit, and that was just him struggling getting open. But that was a good team he was going against.
right, right.
His quarterback inconsistencies might be plaguing him a little bit too.
Hmm.
He's got a great receiver next to him in AD Mitchell. who I
Yes,
like,
who
but
we might talk about here in a couple picks too.
yeah, very
We
possibly.
we
But
might.
I think Xavier Worthy, he he feels a little bit like a what's his name? Keishawn Butte, who we talked about. He's definitely doing better than Butte,
Yeah,
like a lot better. But just that guy who was high up, he kind of had some question marks, but is kind of falling down. So, but I think at this point, based on the NFL, if he goes like round two, round three, I gotta take him here at 208.
yeah. No, I'm a fan of Xavier Worthy. I think there are some things like he does have some drop concerns, but he runs fairly good routes. He's got good burst, good explosiveness, and again, he's physical as a 170-pound, 165-pound
Yeah.
wide receiver. He's very physical, so I'll give that to him as well. Um, let's go with let's go with another tight end here. Man,
Dude,
there's
are you looking at my board right
there's
now?
about I might not even be getting the same tight end as you. That's the crazy thing. I'm gonna go with
You're probably not if you say
Jatavion
that.
Sanders from Texas.
Nope, that's my number two tight end.
Yep. If you watched my tight end show that I did in summer scouting, I um I kind of pooped on Jatavion Sanders a little bit. Um, to quote to quote me, I said he isn't the biggest, he isn't the fastest, he doesn't run good routes, doesn't do much after the catch. All he is a check down machine. I'm pretty sure that is quote what I said during that show. And
How high were you when you said that?
yeah, no, I wasn't
You're
impressed
gonna get
when
drug
watching him.
tested.
But almost everything I said there, he's proven to just be a flat out lie. And I've admitted
Dude,
it.
that's
I've
like
admitted
that
it. I'm
thing.
100%
Everything
wrong.
you just said was
Bad
wrong.
take. Yes, bad take. Oh, we're all stupider.
What movie is that from?
That's from Billy Madison. He said,
Oh yeah.
he said, at no point did you make any concise statement. We are all stupider for having to listen to that. Good day, sir. I grant you no points. Yeah, no, I was
Dude,
100% wrong.
Jatavian, he's very physical. I think he's got great size,
Yeah,
better size than Brock Bowers, obviously,
yeah.
which is scary for Brock Bowers, good for Jatavion Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
Less refined route runner, but
Yep.
nonetheless, I think
He,
he's a solid tight
he
end.
does a lot after the catch. He does a lot after the catch, and it's funny because I didn't think he did. Watching his tape over summer, um, man, no, I was wrong about him. He made me eat my words. It's almost like he watched that before the season and said, "Okay, okay, just wait, Joey Garcia, okay."
I'll show you.
Yeah.
The
So
thing too is he has Quinn Ewers throwing to him, who
yeah,
I I'm just not a big Quinn Ewers guy. I had hope for Quinn. I watched the Alabama game and
yeah,
I was like, is he going to ascend to be a first round tight end? He first round QB.
yeah.
He's got the prestige as a recruit, which the NFL cares about. He's
Mm-hmm.
got the arm talent. He lost the mullet, but
Yeah,
no.
dude. He for the first couple games, I was like, yes, this is the Quinn Ewers I want to see, making concise reads, not being afraid to check it down, stop throwing into triple coverage, and then like the last two games, he like regressed and went
He
back to
plays like me
last
on
year.
Madden.
Yeah, it's like, dude, I understand you're getting bored and you maybe your team's down or you didn't like that you punted last drive and you're just trying to get the first down. It's okay to punt sometimes. It's okay to take the check down, especially in college. Take the check down. Maybe your guy makes the guy miss like Jatavion Sanders does half the freaking time he
They have
catches
a
the
great
ball.
running back too. I forget his
Yes.
name.
Yeah. Um
Their running back's crazy again.
yeah, I don't actually remember who it is either. But you've
Yeah,
got
hold on,
guys.
let me
It's
look
okay.
it
It's
up.
okay to check down. So yeah, at the beginning of the season, I liked Quinn Ewers, and I had Quinn Ewers kind of rising up my board a little bit. I had him as I think my QB4 at the beginning of the season, just because I knew he had the traits, and if he could just calm down a little bit, and he regressed within the last 2 weeks. He's regressed back to last year's Quinn Ewers. So I agree. That's why you
Oh, it's Brooks.
haven't heard me say his name at all. Yes,
Jonathan Brooks. I'm pretty sure
Jonathan.
he's eligible this year, actually.
Yeah, I think he is.
He he could be a guy who the NFL's high on. He's
Yeah,
just like Jonathan Brooks. If I think he's like a third round streamer if you get him like a Roshan Johnson, honestly, about equivalent this year.
right. Yeah, I could see it. I could see it.
Yeah, but I
I
like
gotta deep
Jatavion
dive
Sanders.
into it a little bit more, but yeah,
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 no, I like a lot of Jonathan Brooks. He looks really good. Jatavion, that offense has a lot of weapons.
yeah.
I wish they
Stupid
were
amount.
back.
Stupid amount.
I
Yeah,
actually I like Texas a lot. It's like a program.
yeah,
Like I think it's funny. Like
yeah.
I love it. And they're kind of Notre Dame in how they operate, which is fun to watch from the
Right. Oh,
outside. But
100%. 100%. All right, man. You've got
uh
2 picks left. You better make your picks
oh,
count.
this next one, um I he was just above Jatavion Sanders in my ranking, and
Oh
I like him
yes,
a lot.
from FSU
I'm
or
gonna
from
go
Ohio State.
Johnny Wilson.
Oh, Johnny Wilson from FSU, wide
Dude,
receiver. So what do you think?
yeah,
What do you think with that? The dude's 6 feet
so
7.
he's literally like 6'7", right?
Yeah,
Isn't he like
he's
six
six
five,
seven.
six six?
He's six
Yeah.
seven with a 6'9" wingspan. What?
I don't know exactly how well he translates to the NFL. The
That's what
same
I
way
was
Keon
wondering.
Coleman doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
But considering, look at where we took Keon Coleman. Where we take Keon Coleman at?
We took him
Like
at
probably
the.
108,
Look at this. 109. Yep.
109.
Yeah.
I'm very happy getting his counterpart, Wilson, at the 210. Because I don't think the talent gap between them is that different.
I agree. I agree.
And I can see them being just as successful in the NFL. Like,
Yeah.
I think Johnny Wilson, I think some NFL team is gonna love it. First of all, he's gonna get on the field because I haven't watched his tape specifically for his blocking,
Bro,
but I
he can
imagine he's
run.
got to be able to.
He can
Yeah,
run.
I imagine he's got to be able to like just stay on the field in the NFL,
I hope
earn a
so.
role on a team,
I
and I can't deny the physical traits of a
uh-uh.
210.
Dude, again at 210. This dude should be used similarly to how Kyle Pitts is used. I know Kyle Pitts is a
Yeah.
tight end. Again, Kyle Pitts is 260 pounds, 250 pounds, whatever he is. Johnny Wilson's more like a 220. But Johnny Wilson's got, I'll say this, and you might look at me like I'm crazy. Johnny Wilson has the best hands in this class. Better hands than Marvin Harrison Jr., better hands than Emeka Egbuka, better hands than Keon Coleman. He has the best hands in the
Oh,
class on top of having a 6'7" wingspan. If you want to use him just in a goal line package, it is worth a third rounder in the NFL draft. On top of him being 6'7", 220 pounds, and he will run in the 4.4s. He's fast. He doesn't
yeah.
break on a dime like you would want uh, a receiver to do, but you got to
So
remember he's six
getting
foot
downfield
seven.
on like
Yeah,
getting downfield on a freaking fade or something.
yeah.
Yeah,
He's gonna be someone that works a lot off the vertical stem, or someone that hits like
yeah.
on bubble passes and stuff like that. He's not gonna be someone that you're gonna ask him to do crazy routes, comeback routes, where he's got to stop his full momentum or anything. I like Johnny Wilson a
But
lot.
yeah, he's like a pseudo tight end though, where he's just a
Yes.
big
Oh
guy
yeah.
and like
A matchup
I think if you
nightmare.
throw him on the field,
Yes.
I just like what I see there at the 210.
Yeah, I
But I think
agree.
it's really good. Like, look at this draft class is just a testament to like being pretty deep. I mean, we're a little disappointed with the running backs not being like cream of the crop,
Right.
but considering that you got like Jatavion Sanders and Xavier Worthy at the 2.8, 2.9, like that's pretty good.
Yeah. No, I
Pretty
agree.
happy with that.
I mean, that's the wide receivers in the class are loaded. Loaded. I mean, these guys
Yeah.
are stupid. Okay. I am going to go with another kind of sleeper guy just because I want to show him some love. We will go with running back Jaquavius Marks from South Carolina. All right, cool. Thank you for putting
I'll
that
be
in.
honest, I've
Thank you.
not heard of this dude.
Yes, and I don't expect you to have heard of him. I went deep on this one. This dude is I think he's going to be the Damian Pierce of this draft class. He is a
Ooh,
physical running back who is hungry for contact and also is, I wouldn't say elite, but a great um, pass protector. His hands aren't the best, but he is a physical running back that murders people in pass protection. I would draft this dude to only be my pass protecting running back. That's how much I think he's a good pass protecting running back. Even if I didn't need anyone to run
yeah.
the ball, he would just sit back there on pass plays and just kill linebackers coming through. Defensive ends coming in, just wait until he chip blocks a guy that doesn't see it coming. I mean, he murders kids. It's fun to watch.
That's one of those dual-edged swords where it's like he's going to be a better real life running back than a fantasy running back because of his
Correct.
productivity blocking. But
Correct.
also that is going to earn him more reps and earn him a spot on the field
Right.
and more opportunities to actually get the ball ultimately because like they're going to want to hand him the ball when they think he's only going to block. So
Yeah.
one of those situations. Yeah, I like that. That's a cool pick. I have to watch his tape. This next guy, my heart and my brain are in two different spots. And I'm gonna go with my heart because that's what you should do. There's three guys that I really like here actually, all of the same position. I'll give you a hint, it's running back.
Mm. And
I'm
I
gonna
know who
I'm
you're
gonna
going with.
rock with my I'm gonna rock with my boy Audric, you know?
Estime.
You
That's
gotta
right.
we gotta love Audric. It would be a disgrace. It would be a disservice to you loyal viewers if I did not discuss Audric. So
That's right.
I'm just gonna go ahead and say the three guys it was between.
Hmm.
I technically have Shipley ranked above Audric,
Yes.
but I've got a lot of question marks with Shipley, but I do like his game a lot. Then I've got Audric, and then I've got Donovan Edwards. All
Hmm.
three exactly in a row, no spaces between them. Um, I think Audric, he's literally like I saw a video of him shirtless. Like obviously I follow Notre Dame like fan accounts. There was like some video of him like
The dude's
shirtless with
jacked. He's a linebacker.
yeah, in the kitchen. He's built like a horse.
Yes.
He's literally this man's rib cage is like a horse rib cage.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. But then you got abs packed on top of that. Like he is an athletic specimen. Every time I'm in the gym, I want to post on Strava like a picture of Audric and be like dream physique. Like I'm just working until I get there. This guy, I can see him earning a role on an NFL team though, because first of all, just a great locker room attitude. Like this guy is a ridiculous leader. He brings the vibes. He's like a happy-go-lucky guy. I love him. Like great leader, but also a great teammate. Um, he sets the vibe, and he's falling forward for yards. He's like a classic Madden running back where he's just falling forward for yards over guys. Um, I can see him ultimately. I can see him being better than Braylon Allen in the long
Yes.
run.
Yeah.
That's because of his footwork, because of his breakaway. He's Audric. Like I don't know where it came from. Last year I didn't see it a lot, but this year he's like developed breakaway speed. Is like I forget what game it was. Well, every game, honestly. I think he's broke a big run because he's just pounding it up the middle. It's like when Marshawn Lynch has that interview where it's like, if you just run the ball through a dude's face and do it over and over again, like he's not gonna like it. And that's what Audric does.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And that being said, Notre Dame's offensive line has been they've been good, but not as good as they have been recently or in the past, like historically. So I think Audric's kind of working off like less than definitely less than Kyron Williams had and stuff, but I think he's putting on a better show than Kyron did. Like we can just run it up the middle and get 3 yards every I mean, Louisville somehow stopped that. And I think Audric's been kind of on a pitch count and kind of I don't know if he's dealing with something lingering or
Yeah.
what. But I'm sure it'll get taken care of before the draft process. I think he's gonna test really. I can only imagine how many times he bench presses. I it's it's gonna be like 25 to 30. I think.
Yeah. No, I love Estime. I talk about him literally every single week on our college football recap show on this channel. So the viewers already know how much I love him. I felt like I should let you get him in this though, just because I know that's your
Appreciate
boy.
it. Much
So
love.
so yeah, I'll give that to you. Yeah, he's a beast. I mean, even against Ohio State, which Ohio
Oh
State's
yeah.
front seven is loaded. He was doing
Oh
work
yeah.
against them. Um,
He's
and
been incorporated in the passing game a
yeah,
lot recently too.
yeah,
And we have like a really I forget the Love behind him is another really good. I think he's like a true freshman or redshirt freshman. Another guy's a sophomore up under him. Really good pass catchers, but they're still
yeah,
using Audric in the pass catching game, and he's making good contested catches. Like,
yeah, yeah. No, and they moved that. You guys had that one running back who you guys moved
oh
out to wide
yeah,
receiver, right?
Chris
To
Tyree, we moved
yeah,
him to
Tyree.
slot.
Yeah, moved him to a little bit of
Interesting
wide
move. And
receiver.
then freaking Brian Kelly took Diggs with him, who's now LSU's RB2,
Yeah,
1.5.
yeah.
Diggs was good. I like Diggs. But
But yeah, I'll let me talk about a couple more guys. I just want to give a couple honorable mentions to a few guys. We've talked about Quinn Ewers, so I won't really go deep into him. But Quinn Ewers is another quarterback that we could talk about. Again, his highs are very high, but his lows are also very very low, and it seems like he's kind of leaning more towards those bad tendencies again. Other quarterbacks, I don't really have anyone else other than we've talked about Jaden Daniels who's playing really well. Sam Hartman
yeah,
from Notre Dame. I'm impressed with Sam Hartman. I know he hasn't done the greatest um, at Notre Dame this past couple of years. It's been a little lackluster, but I'm still a believer in Sam Hartman. I think he can be, um, he can be your Kirk Cousins. I really think that that's his ceiling is Kirk Cousins out
I
there.
could see it.
Yeah,
Dude, he looks so much older than a college guy. Like, that's insane.
yeah.
He looks like he's been in the NFL for a couple of
I
years
was
if you
about
were
to
to
say
look
he's
at him. Like, look
24,
at
but
him
he
next
looks
to
like he's 29, man. He
look at
looks
him next to
old.
Mac Jones or something.
It's
Like,
freaking stupid. Yeah.
yeah. Another QB, you could talk about KJ Jefferson, who I'm kind of like low on.
Yeah, he's
And
a guy that he's got the traits, right? He's got the size.
yeah,
He just his intangibles and stuff are just not really there for me. I agree.
there was some preseason hype there.
Yeah, I had
A
preseason hype
wide
for him.
receiver,
Yeah.
a wide receiver I really like and was next up on my board. Oh, well, Donovan Edwards too. We forgot to talk about
At
him,
running back.
but
Yeah. Here,
yeah,
go
he's
over a couple
nice.
running backs. You got any more on your list that you
Yeah,
wanted to talk
running
about?
backs.
Shipley
We got Will Shipley,
from Clemson.
who's kind of suspect in the pass blocking game,
Yep.
but absolute dog in the receiving
He
game.
can catch
And
very
I think
well.
him in open space is really nice.
Yeah.
Like, I can see him being really good. Like, I can see him moving up into the Trey Benson, Braylon Allen range. Like, it's just a matter of size. I don't know what like connotations we have about him, but I like him. Devin Neal is another one from Kansas.
Kansas running back.
Absolute
Yes. I just watched him run all over
absolute
UCF
dog.
this last week. So trust me,
Yeah,
I
he's
know a lot
crazy.
about Devin Neal.
What about the Kentucky guy? I forget his
Ray
name.
Davis. Ray Davis. Yeah.
Yeah,
He
is he
runs
eligible this
physically.
year?
He is. He is
Yeah,
eligible this year. He runs very
he's
physical.
just yeah.
He
He's
doesn't
got
do
some
much
straight
in the
line
pass
speed.
game, but yeah, when he gets up to gear, he gets up to gear. He's
He
pretty good
hurt
too.
Florida.
Yeah. I'll say I'm gonna add in. You talked about Donovan Edwards a little bit. I got. Let's talk about Carson Steele from UCLA, transferred from Ball State. He is very physical, has really good contact balance, also can catch the ball a little bit. If you know anything about Evan Hull from Northwestern, he is at
Oh yeah.
Indianapolis right now. He kind of is Evan Hull with a little bit more contact balance is kind of how I'd say it. So that receiving game with that speed on top of more contact balance. And then one other guy I want to bring up is let's talk about Marshawn Lloyd from USC. He transferred from
Oh
South
yeah.
Carolina, went over to USC. He's a very physical back. Um, the one thing I don't really like about him is as a physical back, his contact balance. I don't really find his contact balance to be there. I also don't think he's got the juice to be a top end guy, but he catches the ball all right and he's physical. At least that's what I've seen in my limited limited watchings of him. You got any other
Yeah,
running
I
backs
like
before you
him.
go to wide receiver?
No more running backs. I only got one more wide receiver who I've really been looking at. It's
Yeah.
AD Mitchell,
Mm,
and I
talk
love
about him.
him too. I think he could be really good. He honestly could be better than Xavier Worthy, just because I think he like gets open a little. I think he's a better route runner than Xavier Worthy, and but I like the physical traits of Xavier. But I think
Yeah.
AD Mitchell. If you're watching a Texas game, you're gonna hear his name all the time. Like
Yeah.
he's just getting the ball.
Transfer from Georgia, I think. I think he was at Georgia, never really
Yeah.
played much. Then yeah, transfers to Texas, and I honestly I think he's taking over as the wide receiver one in Texas. I agree with you 100%. He's really
Yeah.
proven himself
It's
over there.
it's kind of the Malik Neighbors and Butte situation 2.0, but a little less extreme.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm gonna bring up really quickly. I'm gonna go through three guys. Jalen McMillan from Washington. He's kind of the wide receiver two behind Roma Dunze, wide receiver one A and B, or wide receiver two, whatever you want to call it. He is Roma Dunze's equal in all aspects. I think he's got good hands. He's got good route running. Again, these guys love to get open. I don't know who wide receiver. I don't know who Washington's wide receiver coach is, but their footwork's phenomenal. Both of them. Jalen McMillan is also another guy who I think he'll be a top 3 round pick.
Yep.
I don't think he'll make it out of the third round unless he runs a terrible 40-yard dash time or anything like that. He's got to test extremely poorly to get out of the third round, I think. Um, shoot, two more guys. Roman Wilson from Michigan is a he's
Yep.
so small but plays so big. His footwork
The
again
hands.
is phenomenal, and his hands. Yes, as a small guy that catches literally everything. Dude, he's a fun tape to watch. The way he moves, the way he contorts his body, and just the way he separates in contact, contested catches, spectacular catches where he's trying to make stuff on the sideline. His hands are phenomenal, like you said. Um, one more. Dang it, I got two guys. I'm going to talk about these two guys really quickly. One I'll
You're
throw
fine,
out. Shout out Lad McConkey from Georgia. He's just a dog.
dog.
I don't really know where he's going to go or anything like that. But I wanted to throw him out there before I get to these two. Um, Jacob Cowing. I don't actually know how you say his last name, but Jacob. I'm going to say Jacob Cowing from Arizona. I'm pretty sure it's Coing, but I'm going to say Cowing from Arizona. He's a smaller slot guy. He has such good route running. Um, Basically, Arizona's quarterback, Jaden Delara, just throws it up to this guy. He runs over the middle. He's a smaller slot guy, not afraid of contact, has good hands, elite route running and release. When I was watching him, it just felt like Cooper Cup. Watching Cooper Cup at the Senior Bowl. I don't know if you watched Cooper Cup back then in the Senior Bowl, and you just watch how every single um, every single rep, he's doing a different move to get off of these guys and release for his release package. And I really like him because of that. He's a third round sleeper for me as well. And then the last guy, this is my last guy. Sorry for going so long on this. Is Brew McCoy from Tennessee. Brew McCoy, a big body receiver, makes a bunch of good plays, good contested guy, has decent speed, runs okay routes. The only reason why he's so far down on my list is he had a terrible knee injury. Um, I think it was 2 weeks ago, and it was in the fourth quarter 2 weeks ago. Had a terrible knee injury where his leg was like literally backwards on his body. So I don't know exactly where he is in that process or what the results with that were. So I do have him on my honorable mentions list, but since I don't know anything about it, I'm not going to put him on our 2 round mock draft. Do you have any tight ends you want to talk about? I have a feeling you probably have at least one.
No, I'm all out. I haven't
Oh
been looking
man.
deep into the tight ends.
Okay. Well, I'll talk about. I got two tight ends. I'm only going to talk about these two. Let's talk about two. Jaheim Bell, tight end from Florida State.
Dude,
Um,
I forgot about him. Yeah,
Dude,
he's really good.
transfer from South Carolina. He can play H. Again, he's another one of those tight ends that's smaller, like 6'3", 235, 240 pounds. Not as much of an athlete as Brock Bowers, but he can play H-back. He played linebacker in college for a year. He's played running back for South Carolina in multiple stretches. Now he's at FSU, and they run him kind of as like an H-back tight end hybrid. Put him on motions where he runs wheel routes. He's a good playmaker. He runs hard with the ball in his hands. He's not elite at anything, but I would say he's a step above Chiga Conquo. That's kind of where I've got him there. The last guy I want to talk about, which is just a guy I want to shout out really quickly, is Cade Stover, tight end from Ohio State. I haven't watched him deeply, but he's just been a guy with Ohio State having so many weapons. He's a guy who, on third downs, someone needs to make a play. We've got Emeka Egbuka, who's a clutch guy. We've got Marvin Harrison Jr., who's the best wide receiver in the league. But it just seems like this year, Cade Stover has been that safety valve for Kyle McCord. And he's, from what I've seen, I don't know about route running, but he's got decent enough hands, and he's got really good contact balance, really good run after catch, making guys miss, and being very physical with the ball in his hand. So that's someone I wanted to just kind of give a shout out to. But that's those are the guys I have. I know we threw a lot of names at you guys. Noah, you got anything else to say before we sign off here?
That's it. You want to do one last recap of the mock draft?
I think that's a
Just what
brilliant
we
idea.
got from top.
Yes. So starting out at 101, quarterback Caleb Williams from USC. Noah at the second pick took wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. from Ohio State. At the number 3 pick, we got quarterback Drake May from UNC. At the 4th pick, we have tight end Brock Bowers from Georgia. At the 5th pick, wide receiver Malik Neighbors from LSU. At the 6th pick, wide receiver Emeka Egbuka from Ohio State. 7th pick, we got quarterback Bo Nix from Oregon. 8th pick, running back Travion Henderson from Ohio State. 9th pick, wide receiver Keon Coleman from Florida State. 10th pick, quarterback Michael Penix Jr. from Washington. The 11th pick, we got Trey Benson from Florida State. 12th pick, wide receiver Roma Dunze from Washington. Going into the second round, first pick of the second round, wide receiver Troy Franklin from Oregon. Second pick, we have running back Rocket Sanders from Arkansas. Third pick, running back Blake Corum from Michigan. Fourth pick, running back Braylon Allen from Wisconsin. Fifth pick, quarterback Cam Ward from Washington State. Sixth pick, J.J. McCarthy from Michigan. Seventh pick, wide receiver Xavier Leggett from South Carolina. Eighth pick, wide receiver Xavier Worthy from Texas. Ninth pick, we got Texas tight end Jatavion Sanders. 10th pick, wide receiver Johnny Wilson from Florida State. 11th pick, a wild card here, running back Jaquavius Marks from South Carolina. And then 12th pick, rounding it all off, running back Audric Estime from Notre Dame. All right. Noah, I appreciate you jumping on here with me, man. This has been fun. Hope hope everyone else enjoyed it as much as I did. It's a long one today, but that's okay. I'm good with doing longer episodes, especially when it's not just me by myself. I get to talk to friends. So
Yeah, man, good draft. I hope mine goes as well for my for the actual draft.
oh yeah, yeah. If you get all these guys, your team's gonna be loaded in Dynasty. So. All right. Well, I appreciate everybody watching. If you enjoyed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, leave a like, put down in the comment section if you think that we have some guys ranked too low, if we left out a couple players, or if you want to see Noah's face next time. Appreciate you guys stopping by. Have a good one. Peace.